Hey guys, Money Mike here. Just want to do a quick reaction video again, like I did last week. I was planning on a full divisional round preview, but my computer had to go into the shop, so I haven't been able to do any shows like I had planned. I figured I'd use the end of the game that we just saw between Green Bay and Arizona to promote some shows coming up and talk about the crazy finish that we saw. I'm not sure Bruce Arians watched too much of Andy Reid during that Chiefs-Patriots game, but the clock management at the end of the game, when it was won, it should have been won, but yet they were throwing the ball, they had to kick a field goal, and it was 13-20. The game was over. All Arizona had to do was run out the clock. Bruce Arians' play calling there, I don't get what they were doing. But because of that, it did set up the crazy finish that we saw. So if Arizona had just run out the clock, we want to be talking about the fantastic finish. Now, after the poor clock management, Aaron Rodgers, again, has time to win the game. They need a touchdown to take it to overtime. We saw what happened in Detroit. Detroit could not even stop the Hail Mary. Could Arizona do it? No. With 5 seconds left in regulation, folks. And my heart is still pounding because that was just an incredible finish. 5 seconds left. Jeff Janis, touchdown. Hail Mary, we go to overtime. Unbelievable. You think, oh, this is going to be the same thing in Detroit. This is going to be what wins the game for Green Bay in overtime. Well, we have some issues on the coin flip. Coin never flipped, so they reflipped, which only added to how great this moment was at the end of the game. And then it seemed like it was Tim Tebow to Demaryius Thomas all over again as Palmer found Larry Fitzgerald 75 yards. He was pulled down at the 4-yard line. 4 yards short of the game-winning touchdown. It was, like I said, it was almost like going back to 2011 and watching Tim Tebow throw a pass to Demaryius Thomas for the game-winning touchdown against the Steelers. So, very next play, quick little shovel pass to Fitzgerald to get in the end zone to send Arizona to the NFC Championship game. Unreal. Basically, if you only watch the last 3 minutes of the game, you pretty much would say this was the greatest game ever. But before that, it really wasn't that good of a game until Bruce Arians decided to mimic Andy Reid with the horrible play clock management, and it pretty much set in motion everything that happened. So now, as I record this, again, like last week, right after I recorded the Steelers-Bengals reaction, this is Sunday, this is pretty much midnight. So essentially, it's already game day. We have at 1 o'clock, we have Seattle traveling to Carolina, and then we have Pittsburgh going to Denver. Now, we saw earlier on Saturday, the Patriots beat the Chiefs. Andy Reid's poor clock management did not allow the Chiefs to make a comeback the way that Bruce Arians' poor clock management allowed the Packers to make a comeback and send the game to overtime. So now the question becomes for Arizona. Do they host the NFC Championship game if Seattle wins, or do they travel to the East Coast to Charlotte to play the Carolina Panthers next week? And if you remember the NFC wildcard game last year between the Panthers and the Cardinals in Charlotte, it was considered one of the worst playoff games ever. The weather was horrible, it was rainy. Basically, the game did not get a lot of great reviews from fans. It just really wasn't a good game. And at the time, of course, Carolina had played an Arizona team without Carson Palmer and then had gone through quarterbacks. And then, if you remember last year, the Panthers won the NFC South with a 7-9 record, and now it is possible that these two teams could meet in the NFC Championship game a year later. Both playing well. Carson Palmer is starting for the Cardinals. The Panthers are a much better team than the team that went 7-9 and won the division. They were almost undefeated. They are 15-1. A complete 360 from the team that won the division at 7-9. Arizona, of course, you look at this as a quarterback-driven league. Palmer went down last year. Their season went down the drain. Palmer, he's healthy. He's back. He's the number 2 seed for Arizona. And now Carson Palmer has a chance to finish what Kurt Warner started back in 2008 and take the Cardinals not only back to the Super Bowl, but to win it. And if Larry Fitzgerald plays the way he did tonight, I don't see how even Josh Norman or even Richard Sherman could even stop Larry Fitzgerald and contain him. And there really is nobody truly more deserving of a ring than Larry Fitzgerald. So now, can the momentum from Saturday night's game and that wild finish carry over into the final 2 games of the divisional round weekend? And can we have some great games with some great finishes to them? Or will there be some duds, maybe some wins, blowouts? I don't know. Point is, the NFC Championship game is going to be fun next week, regardless of who wins between Seattle and Carolina. And I will have a full championship weekend preview coming up next week, or I guess later this week now, since Sunday, we're a week from the NFC Championship game. So I will have a full preview later this week of the championship weekend in the NFL. Just like the Cardinals, the Patriots are waiting to find out who they have to play, or whether or not they are on the road or they are hosting the AFC Championship game. If Pittsburgh wins against Denver, the Patriots will host the AFC Championship game in a rematch of the Week 1 kickoff opener that started the 2015 season. If the Broncos win, the Patriots will go to Denver for the AFC Championship game. There's a lot on the line later today. Panthers, Seahawks, followed by Steelers, Broncos. I've been your host, Money Mike. This was a special Front 7 reaction video. Stay tuned later this week for my championship preview and my predictions, and a special Everything Else podcast. Enjoy the games, everybody.